The past is where you learn the lesson. The future is where you apply the lesson. Don't give up in the middle. Good morning, students, and welcome to your English Literature Class 5. Today, we shall learn a new unit, that is Unit 12, A Fishy Story. This is an extract from Jerome Humer's book, Three Men in a Boat. The narrator and his two friends, George and Harris, along with their dog, are on a boating holiday on the river Thames. One day, in a little village inn, they see a most remarkable fish in a glass case. Read on to find out more about the fish. Now here it's a story taken from Jerome Humer's book. It's about three men where the narrator and his two friends, that is George and Harris, along with their dog, are going for a boating holiday on a river, that is Thames. One day they get into a village and they see a big fish in a glass case. They want to know about it. Let's see what is it. We stayed 2 days at Streatley. The neighborhood of Streatley are Goring in a great fish center. Goring. On the second evening, George and I, means they are telling now, they stayed in a Streatley neighbor's place and they have a great fishing center. On the second evening, George and I, means George and Harris, and the dog went for a walk to Wallingford. Coming back, we stopped at a little riverside inn. We went in and sat down. While coming back, they stopped at the riverside and they went inside and came out. There was an old fellow there and we began chatting. He told us that it had been a fine day that day, and we have told him that it had been a fine day the day before, and they all told each other that we thought it would be a fine day the next day. They met an old fellow and started talking. They say it was fine day today, it will be tomorrow, and it will be the next day also. After that, we told him that we are strangers in the neighborhood. They are telling the man that we are strangers. We are not from here, we are from another place. And that we are going away the next morning. Then there was a pause in the conversation and our eyes wandered around the room. When they were saying this, there was a pause and suddenly they keep on wandering here and there, their eyes. They finally rested upon a dusty old glass case, fixed high upon the wall and containing a trout. They suddenly see at a dusty old glass which is fixed up on the wall and it is containing a trout. Trout is a large freshwater fish. It fascinated me, that trout. It was such a monstrous fish. They are saying it was extremely a large fish. They liked to see it. What it is, they are excited to know. Ah, said the old gentleman, following my eyes. Fine fellow, that isn't he? Quite uncommon, I murmured. He's saying he's not a fine fellow. I know he's an uncommon man. And George asked how much it weighed. The man says 18 pounds 6 ounces, means it's 8 kilograms. Or more than it, said our friend, rising and taking down his coat with he's saying confident, taking his coat up. Yes, he continued, it was 16 years ago that I caught him just below the bridge with my minnow. He's saying that it was 16 years ago he had caught it below the bridge with a minnow. Minnow means a small fish which is used to catch the big fish. You don't see many fish of that size now. Well, good night, gentlemen, he says and moves away. And out he went and left us alone. We could not take our eyes off the fish after that. It really was a fine fish. They're saying after looking at the fish, they couldn't remove their eyes from there. They liked the fish so much. We were still looking at it, and when the local carrier, that is Potter, who had just stopped at the inn, came to the door of the room, and he also looked at the fish. "Good sized trout, that," said George, turning around to him. Now George is saying to the man, the carrier, "Good sized trout it is." "Ah, you may well say that, sir," replied the man. He's saying, "You may say it." And then he added, "Maybe you weren't here, sir, when that fish was caught." He's saying, "You were not here when we caught the fish." "No," we told him. George says, "No, we are strangers in the neighborhood." He's saying, "We are strangers to the neighborhood. It was nearly 5 years ago that I caught the trout." What that old man said? 16 years ago. Now this fellow, the carrier, is saying 5 years ago, said the carrier. "Oh, was it you who caught it?" said I. George is saying. "Yes, sir," replied the fellow. "I caught him one Friday afternoon, and the remarkable thing about this is that I caught him with a fly. Well, you see, he weighed 26 pounds. Good night, gentlemen. Good night." Now this man is saying, "Yes, I caught it one Friday afternoon, I remember, and I caught it with the help of a fly, and it is 26 pounds, means more than 26 kgs. And then that carrier says good night and goes away. Next 5 minutes afterwards, a third man came in and described how he had caught the trout early one morning. Now after the carrier, one third person comes and describes how he has caught the trout early in the morning. And then he left, and a middle-aged individual came in and sat down by the window. One middle-aged fellow comes in and sits down by the window. None of us spoke for a while. Then George turned to him and said, "I beg your pardon, my friend, and I would be much obliged if you would tell us how you caught that trout up there." Now George is saying to the fellow, "I beg your pardon, I would be much obliged if you tell me how you have caught the trout up there." "Who told you that I caught the trout?" was the surprised question. We said that nobody had told us, but we felt that it was he who caught it. But he's saying, "Nobody told us, but we feel that you have caught it." "Well, it's a most remarkable thing," answered the stranger laughingly, "because you are quite right. I did catch it, but imagine your guessing is like that. Dear me, it's really a most remarkable thing." He's saying, the middle-aged fellow is saying, "Yes, it's me who caught it, and it's a strange thing to know that you are guessing me right that I have caught it. It's a remarkable thing." And then he told us how it had taken him half an hour to catch it, and how it had broken his rod. He said he had weighed it carefully when he reached home, and it was 34 pounds, means more than 34 kgs. He's saying it took more than half an hour for him to catch the fish, and he broke his rod while catching the fish, and it weighed 34 kgs, 34 pounds. When he was gone, the owner of the inn came in. We told him various stories we had heard about this trout, and we all laughed. Now they're telling the owner that they heard so many stories about the trout, and all of them laughed. Imagine Jim Bates and Joe Muggles and Mr. Jones and old Billy Maunders all telling you that they had caught it. Means 4 of them told them that they had caught it. "Ha ha ha, well, that is good," said the honest old fellow. Then he told us the real history of the fish. It was he who caught it years ago when he was a boy. It was the owner who caught it, not these 4 people who boasted before. When he had left the room, George and I again turned our gaze upon the fish. It really was a most astonishing trout. When he left the room, the owner, again George and Harris, looked at the fish. They were unable to remove their eyes from the trout because it was an astonishing one. It excited George so much that he climbed up on the back of a chair, to get a better view of it. So excited George was, so that he climbed on the chair to look at it properly to get a better view of it. And then the chair slipped and George clutched wildly at the trout case to save himself. The chair got slipped and George caught the fish aquarium trout case to save himself, and down it came with a crash, George and the chair on top of it. Down fell the trout's case and George and the chair was on top of the trout's case. "You haven't injured the fish, have you?" I cried in alarm, rushing up. Harish is saying. "I hope not," said George, rising cautiously and looking about. But he had damaged the fish. The trout lay shattered into 1,000 fragments. I say 1,000 means 1,000 pieces had become of the trout. But I did not count them. We found it very strange that a trout should break up into little pieces like that. But then we discovered why it did. The fish was made of plaster of Paris. It was not a real fish, it was made of plaster of Paris, which is used to make artificial statues or set of broken bones, which is used to make artificial statues. Students, I hope you have understood the story. Any doubts, you can call me. The grammar part is conjunction. What is a conjunction? Because, when, so, but and then. These are the words used in conjunction. What is a conjunction? Conjunction is a joining word. We use conjunctions to join two words, phrases or clauses together to make a long sentence. Examples: for, we listened eagerly, for he brought news of our families, and she didn't speak to anyone and nobody spoke to her, nor I don't expect children to be rude, nor do I expect to be disobeyed. But they rushed to the hospital, but they were too late. Or, I will go shopping or I will go camping. Yet, Kelly was a convicted criminal, yet many people admired him. So, I was feeling hungry, so I made myself a sandwich. Conjunctions are nothing but a word used to join two sentences. Be brave even if you're not, pretend to be. I repeat, be brave even if you're not, pretend to be. Thank you, students.